If you are looking to lose weight, you have probably asked the exact same question everyone asks: how can I do this faster? And despite what you might hear, wanting rapid results is a completely valid goal, especially when you have immediate health concerns driving that urgency. But the moment you look for ways to accelerate the process, you run into a persistent warning from the diet industry: lose it too fast, and you will inevitably gain it all back. The clinical data tells a different story. Studies show that a rapid 10% drop in body weight over just 5 weeks carries the exact same risk of long-term regain as a gradual 10% loss spread over 3 months. Biological speed is entirely safe and physically possible. The catch is the cost. To compress the timeline, you have to trade comfortable routines for intense, uncompromising interventions. A lot of the fitness industry profits by selling you comfortable, painless shortcuts that biology simply does not support. Actual speed requires mastering the math of your metabolism. The most common trap people fall into when trying to speed up fat loss is spot reduction, the highly marketed idea that doing a 10-minute ab blaster routine will burn the fat directly off your stomach. Looking at this model of the human body, we can see how fat mobilization actually works. When you exercise, hormones and enzymes signal your fat cells to release energy into your bloodstream. That energy is drawn systemically from across your entire body, not from the specific area you happen to be flexing. In a randomized trial, researchers had adults do 6 weeks of targeted abdominal exercises. By the end, their core muscular endurance improved significantly, but the layer of subcutaneous fat covering those muscles remained completely unchanged. The problem comes down to energy demand. Isolation exercises like sit-ups or tricep extensions use very small muscle groups. They simply cannot create the massive caloric deficit required to force your body to tap into stored fat at a rapid pace. If your ultimate goal is speed, spending your limited time isolating small muscle groups is the least efficient choice you can make. So how do we actually accelerate that math? The first proven avenue for rapid fat loss operates entirely on the intake side of the equation: the very low energy diet. This protocol requires consuming fewer than 800 calories a day. To do that safely without starving your body of essential nutrients, regular meals are typically replaced with strictly calibrated high-protein shakes or bars. As this illustration of a figure measured on a spoon highlights, a very low energy diet is a strictly controlled clinical tool. The outcomes are significant: rapid, measurable weight loss accompanied by immediate drops in blood pressure and triglycerides. The trade-offs are steep. Living on less than 800 calories requires immense psychological discipline. Because of the extreme restriction, these diets are capped at 12 weeks and require constant medical supervision to prevent severe nutritional deficiencies. While very low energy diets are the undisputed fastest dietary route to weight loss, their extreme nature makes them a specialized medical protocol, not a casual lifestyle experiment to try on your own. If extreme dietary restriction is not appropriate, we have to flip the equation and look at physical output, specifically for people who are physically healthy but severely short on time. This is where high-intensity interval training, or HIIT, and high-intensity circuit training, HICT, come in as premier time compression strategies. This side-by-side model shows why these workouts are so efficient. On the left, a bicep curl isolates one small muscle. On the right, a multi-joint compound movement like a deadlift forces massive muscle groups across the legs, back, and core to light up all at once, demanding exponentially more calories in the exact same amount of time. And the caloric demand does not stop when you leave the gym. Looking at this timeline chart, we see a phenomenon called EPOC, excess post-exercise oxygen consumption. Because a heavy compound circuit requires so much oxygen to recover, your metabolic rate remains elevated for hours after the workout is over. The trade-off here is the physical toll. Triggering this afterburn effect means handling heavy mechanical loads and pushing your muscles to near failure. That requires a high degree of joint mobility and intense motivation. HICT and HIIT allow you to trade grueling physical exertion for time. You get the maximum possible biological return on a brief 30-minute investment. But what if you cannot safely sustain high-impact lifts and an 800-calorie diet is off the table? There is a third lever for rapid loss: NEAT. NEAT stands for Non-Exercise Activity Thermogenesis. It is simply the energy your body uses doing everything that isn't sleeping, eating, or a formal gym workout. This chart highlights the massive scale of that daily movement. A sedentary desk worker burns significantly fewer calories than someone using a standing desk or walking to work. Modifying your routine to include just 2.5 extra hours of standing or walking can burn an additional 350 calories every single day, completely bypassing gym fatigue. The trade-off is mental endurance. Instead of suffering through a 45-minute circuit and calling it a day, maximizing NEAT requires constant, conscious behavioral modification across all 16 of your waking hours. NEAT proves you do not need punishing gym routines to drive rapid weight loss, but you do need an unrelenting, all-day commitment to staying in motion. Biological speed ultimately comes down to a math equation. Success does not hinge on finding a perfect secret. It depends on matching the correct high-intensity protocol to the actual constraints of your life. As this flowchart shows, if you are managing severe obesity and have an urgent mandate from a doctor, the extreme dietary discipline of a medically supervised very low-energy diet is your most direct route. If you have healthy joint mobility but lack free time, abandon the isolation moves. Dedicate your limited schedule entirely to high-intensity circuit training and compound lifts to leverage the afterburn effect. And if high-impact exercise is unsafe or unrealistic right now, pair a moderate sustainable calorie deficit with a hyper-focus on maximizing your daily NEAT. People rarely fail at rapid weight loss because their biology is broken. They fail because they select a protocol that is incompatible with their daily reality. You cannot buy fast weight loss with magic teas or localized abdominal exercises. It has to be earned through systemic metabolic efficiency. The only question is which currency you are going to use for the exchange. You can pay with extreme dietary discipline, intense physical exertion, or a total redesign of your daily lifestyle. Biological speed is absolutely achievable. You just have to be honest with yourself about the price you are willing to pay.